Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone pushes you to the edge, testing your patience, trying to provoke a reaction? What if I told you that your silence, not your words, has the potential to disrupt their entire control over you? How many times have you been baited into reacting to someone's negativity, only to feel like you've lost control of your emotions? Now, imagine if, instead of reacting, you chose to stay calm. Imagine how that could change the dynamic. What if you realized that in the act of silence, there's immense power? When someone tries to trigger you, they want you to engage. They want to see you unravel. They want to see you react emotionally, because that's where they feel their control comes from. But in silence, you disarm them. You show them that you are no longer bound by their attempts to manipulate or provoke. In fact, it's your silence that actually speaks louder than anything you could say. This isn't a sign of weakness. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Remaining silent in the face of provocation is one of the most powerful things you can do. By not giving them the emotional reaction they expect, you take back control of the situation. You stop being a puppet in their hands, and instead, you become the one holding the strings. The more you remain silent, the more their tactics fail, and eventually, they start questioning why their usual methods don't work on you anymore. But why does silence have such power? Why does it seem to work when everything else fails? The answer lies in understanding how psychological manipulation works and how silence disrupts it. When you choose not to react, you become the one in control of your emotional state. You break free from their ability to influence how you feel. When you refuse to react, it's as if you're sending an invisible message. You're telling them that their tactics don't affect you. You're not weak. You're simply choosing to not give them control over your emotions. They want to provoke you into an emotional response because, in their minds, they have power over you when they can get a rise out of you. But when you choose silence, you take away their power. They no longer have control over your state of mind, and this is what they fear the most. Have you ever noticed how the more you stay calm, the more they try to escalate things? The reason is simple. They thrive on drama. They thrive on conflict. When you don't give them that, they begin to panic. They don't know how to handle it when their usual tactics fail. They're used to getting a reaction, and when you don't give them one, it destabilizes them. By staying silent, you're not letting them control your peace. You're refusing to let their chaos and negativity invade your mind. In a world where everyone is so quick to respond, to react, to argue, your silence becomes a form of power. It's a sign that you're not easily manipulated. Your silence tells them that you are in control of your own emotions, and that you won't be swayed by their attempts to provoke you. This doesn't mean you don't care or that you're indifferent. It's about not letting their actions dictate how you feel. It's about choosing not to play their game. It's about deciding that your emotional state is yours to control, not theirs. When you stop reacting, you stop giving them the upper hand. And when you stop giving them that power, they start to realize that they can't control you. This is when the real shift happens. The more you practice this, the more it becomes natural. Your emotional strength grows, and so does your ability to navigate situations with calm and confidence. The more you remain silent, the more others begin to respect your boundaries. Your silence is no longer a weakness, it's your superpower. Silence doesn't just block manipulation, it reflects strength. When you remain composed, you're not running from confrontation, you're rising above it. You're telling the world that your peace is non-negotiable. And this kind of silence makes people uncomfortable, not because it's rude, but because it forces them to face their own noise. Most people aren't used to it. They expect chaos, shouting, defense. But when they're met with calm stillness, it throws them off. They start to question their power over you. They wonder if they ever had any to begin with. And that's when you win. Not by out-arguing them, not by proving anything, but simply by showing that you are no longer available to be controlled. You're unavailable for their games, emotionally unavailable to their drama. You're not cold, you're calm. There's a difference. In silence, you reclaim space. You protect your energy. You stop bleeding for people who wouldn't even hand you a bandage. You stop over-explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. You no longer perform your worth for people too blind to see it. Your stillness becomes your message. I'm not here to fight for space. I am the space. And slowly, they stop expecting explanations. They stop pushing. They begin to notice that they're no longer the center of your reactions. And that's terrifying for people who thrive on control. You've changed the rules of engagement. You've broken the pattern. And they have no idea what to do with the version of you that doesn't play by their script. If you're ready to master emotional control and never let them pull your strings again, subscribe now and turn on the bell, because this is where silence becomes power and you're just getting started. When you embrace the power of silence, you are not retreating from conflict, nor are you avoiding the situation. Instead, you are rising above it, becoming the observer, the calm in the storm. It's not about ignoring what's happening around you, but choosing to not be emotionally swept up by it. In doing this, you create a sense of mystery, You force people to question their own actions, their own power over you. The more they try to provoke, the more they realize their tactics are ineffective. It's essential to understand that silence is not a sign of submission. It's a calculated decision to maintain your peace. People often mistake silence for weakness, thinking that if you're not fighting back, you're giving in. But in reality, the opposite is true. Silence is a defense mechanism, one that requires great strength. It takes a person with a deep sense of self to remain calm in the face of manipulation and provocation. When you remain silent, you are sending a message to the world. I am in control of my emotions, and you can't dictate how I feel. You can't control my reaction, my state of mind. The more you stay silent, the more you reveal your own inner strength. It becomes clear that you are not easily swayed, not easily manipulated. You control your energy, and that is a power few people truly understand. People who try to manipulate others are used to getting emotional reactions. They expect you to engage with them, to react with frustration, anger, or fear. When you don't, it destabilizes them. They don't know how to handle someone who doesn't react to their games. It creates confusion for them, and confusion is the last thing they want when they're trying to control you. In your silence, you create a force they can't combat. The beauty of silence lies in its simplicity and its ability to disrupt the expected. When you choose to stay silent, it forces the person trying to manipulate or provoke you to confront their own insecurities. They start to doubt their control over you, and in that doubt, they lose their power. This is a dynamic shift. Instead of being the one who's manipulated, you become the one who controls the situation. You've shown that you're not emotionally invested in their drama, and in doing so, you take away the one thing they need, your reaction. Over time, silence begins to work its magic. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. It becomes second nature to maintain composure in stressful situations, to remain calm when someone tries to push your buttons. You stop being reactive, and you start being proactive. Instead of waiting for others to provoke you, you set the terms of the interaction. Your silence speaks louder than any words could ever do. It's a testament to your emotional intelligence, your ability to remain unaffected by external forces, and your capacity to control your own state of mind. People will try to test you, to break your silence, but the more you stay calm, the more they realize they can't rattle you. Your silence becomes a shield, a barrier between your inner peace and the chaos they try to create. It's in this silence that you truly show strength. It's not about ignoring people or pretending they don't exist. It's about protecting your energy and your peace. When you stay silent, you're not submitting to their will. You're asserting your boundaries. And in doing so, you become an impenetrable force. Now that you've mastered silence, it's time to ask yourself, what would happen if you chose silence in every situation where people expect you to react? How much more power could you have if you stopped responding emotionally and started controlling your energy? The truth is, most people are living their lives based on reactions. They are governed by external forces, constantly triggered by the opinions, actions, and words of others. But you don't have to live like that. You don't have to give anyone the satisfaction of pulling your strings. By choosing silence, you are taking control not just of the situation, but of your life. You are no longer a puppet reacting to every situation. You are the master of your own emotions, your own energy, and your own destiny. And once you understand that, you'll begin to notice how powerful you truly are. The power lies in your ability to stay grounded in who you are, regardless of the chaos happening around you. So, let me ask you this. If you were able to master your emotions, stay calm in any situation, and remain unaffected by the chaos around you, what do you think would change in your life? Think about it for a moment. What kind of control could you gain over your own life and the lives of others around you? And if you're ready to learn how to do this, how to truly take back control and step into your own power, then you know what to do next. If you're serious about taking control of your life and your emotions and learning the true power of silence, subscribe now and hit the bell. You won't want to miss the next video, because what you're about to discover will change everything.